The Hawks lose their fourth in a row, losing 4-3 in overtime to the Minnesota Wild. Lots to discuss. Join us next on the CHGO Blackhawks postgame show. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame show presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use our code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm Jay Zawaski. That's Greg Boysen. Chloe and Sarah are here running the show. The Hawks lose 4-3 in overtime to the Minnesota Wild. They blow a 2-0 lead for the third time in 5 games. More bad refereeing. Oof, a lot to get to in this one. Do us a favor, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page as well. And if you're catching up later on the podcast, make sure you are following or subscribed on your favorite podcast app. Greg, there's not a lot of ways to sugarcoat this. You said it before the show began, and I'll let you use your quote about, the refs, but you cannot continuously play your best periods of the season, 2 of them in a row, again, and lose the game. This team has to learn how to close out and how to win games. They have to. That is what the difference between a good team and a learning and a growing and a developing team is: winning, learning to win, and it's lesson number 1 they need right now.
Yeah, they got to figure that out because this game is so annoying for multiple reasons. You play your best 39 minutes and 47 seconds in ages, in multiple seasons. You're up 2-0. You thought you were up 3-0 for a minute there, but it was an obvious offside.
It was the right call.
Nothing. You can't get mad at that. And then you give up a weird deflected goal in the final minute of the second period, and you're like, oh, come on. And then the third period, they don't do what they were doing with success in the first 2 periods, and you go to overtime. You're not thrilled about that. The Blackhawks haven't been good in overtime this year.
Nope.
Then you get a garbage penalty against you.
Yep.
And, of course, 4-on-3, that's too much space for Kaprizov. He's going to do exactly what he's going to do. There's a lot of things to be frustrated here. That call in the third period is definitely one of them.
Yeah. The call in overtime is one of them.
That's what I meant. Overtime. Yeah. It was bad. It was an interference call on Mikheyev, and the puck was still there. Now, granted, he was going to make that hit because of the big hit that Ek threw on Bedard.
Yep, or Berard, as he was called.
Berard.
I'm surprised Nazar didn't stand up to him.
Right.
We'll get to the ESPN broadcast
about
later.
What absolute effing garbage ESPN Plus is. We only had to watch 1 period of that game.
And it was
those of you
annoying.
that watched all 3 periods on ESPN, you are the best hockey fans in the world, because that is a terrible broadcast from top to bottom. But anyway, we'll bitch about that later.
Yeah.
It's just annoying and frustrating that they're in a position to let the refs screw them over again when they shouldn't have even been in overtime.
Yeah. Well, look, they hit the post 5 times.
Yeah,
it's true. They did it.
They hit the post 5 times.
There were some bad calls against them. 2 Minnesota Wild goals were complete garbage. Just fluky.
You could argue all 3 of them in regulation were.
You could.
There was a weird bounce off the end boards. Eriksson Ek, who had quite the finish of this game, literally has Louis Crevier's legs in between his leg and is squeezing him. Doesn't let him go. Then there was a play where they were all like, oh, I can't believe they didn't call the hooking on Murphy when he's holding his stick. Yeah. Learn the game, Buchagras, you clown.
Yep.
That's why he got pushed in the board, because he was holding his stick.
They kept pushing that narrative that should have been a penalty on Murphy the whole time, too. It's ridiculous. Like, it's anyway, we'll get to ESPN later. We got plenty of time for that. But look, did they deserve to win? 100%. They deserve to win. I have not checked the deserve to win-o-meter on Money Puck yet, but I assure you it is in the Blackhawks' favor but you don't get points for should have won. And you give up a late goal in the second. Fluky, maybe a high stick, not enough there to review because you don't want to go shorthanded.
Yeah.
Right. And if you had, you're on a 5-on-3, maybe, because Crevier then moments later shoots the puck out of play. So you start the second on a kill. Don't give up a shot on that power play. But then, a minute later, Nico Sturm scores his first goal of the season, and there you go. It's 2-2.
Yeah, another bouncy, deflected, ping-pongy goal.
Yeah.
That Spencer Knight has no chance on.
Right.
God, this reminds me of that Seattle game so much. It was the same thing, and it's just frustrating because, if you're not offside on that Bertuzzi goal, then, or whatever, Bertuzzi was scored that goal. If you're not offside there, it's 3-0. That game is all but over. But you get some momentum. Credit to Minnesota for not, giving up.
No.
They kept playing their game, and, they got a very Minnesota Wild win with some mucky, weird goals, and then Kaprizov scoring the highlight reel snipe at the end. I mean, that's a Minnesota Wild textbook victory there.
It's how you win in this league, and I think we've had some frustrations this game several times where the Hawks had opportunities to shoot the puck, and they looked for that extra pass. It's something that's been happening a lot lately, and they've got a lot more talent now than they've had in years with Bedard and Nazar and Moore and on and on and on, and they've got the ability to put some Globetrotters type crap on. The Bedard goal is a great example of it. That's exactly what we're talking about. But man, if I see Tavo or Nazar or like just balk to throw a pass to nowhere, Ryan Donato did it in the second period. He's dead to rights on net, and he sort of pulls up into the middle and then just throws it into traffic. Like the Minnesota knows what you have to do to win in this league. Yeah, they've got supreme skill and Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Boldy. Boldy's on pace for 50 goals. But how did Matt Boldy score his goal today? He was standing in front of the net, and the puck came right to him, and he poked it in.
Yeah, that also helped that Louis Crevier was in the figure four.
Sure,
lock,
but, but like
details.
You just have to be. You have to. Yeah. They have to. And look, these are lessons that young teams will learn, and it's extremely frustrating. As this is a very fresh loss, right? But hopefully, these are the sort of lessons that, as the season goes on, as these guys get more experience, and with a legitimate coaching staff behind the bench, they can use these moments and saying, here's more evidence of just keeping the game simple. And for the first two periods, for the most part, the Hawks were playing a very simple game, north and south, winning puck battles, winning races to pucks. And then as soon as they scored late in the period, or early in the third period, rather, the Hawks kind of got on their heels a little bit, and you could sense the momentum change. You could feel the Hawks saying, oh boy, here we go again. They've got to learn to overcome that. They've got to be able to withstand, what's the word I'm looking for? Not controversy, but like
adversity.
A challenge. Adversity. Yeah. Like they've got to be able to withstand adversity. It's a young team. They will learn. These are great lessons for these guys, but in the moment it sucks. And it's another, you got a point out of it, but man, they should have taken two pretty easy points in this one.
Yeah, and you're spot on. The frustration 8 minutes after the game is high, but when you go back and look things over, tomorrow morning or later tonight, there's a lot of positives to take out of this game for sure, and it's a young team still growing and learning. What it's like to play in the NHL 82 games, and they definitely have to learn how to close these things out. We've seen it too many times this year, and, it will happen. They'll get there. They're literally 2 inches away from 6 goals tonight. Yeah, Levshunov could have a hat trick.
They played great.
Bedard, they get that late power play in the third period. Bedard hits the post, the same exact spot of the post on 2 consecutive shots. It's like, you're kidding me, right?
Yeah, no, it's
like they're literally an inch and a half away from winning that game 7-3 going away.
Yeah, and they'll get them. Those are coming, and I'm being told I'm being too negative. I'm analyzing a game that just happened. Sorry, but like they 100% should have won that game. It was probably the best all-around game they've played in some time.
2 periods, yes.
And look, anytime a team has a lead in the third, the trailing team is going to push, and they're going to push. And the Wild are a team that has underachieved. They've been red hot lately, 7-0-1 recently. Like they're
now 9-1-1 in their last 11.
Yeah, like they are starting to figure things out.
Yeah, they're getting getting great goaltending,
and they got it tonight.
And credit to them. I mean, they played they were on their heels for 2 periods, and they Marcus Foligno got hurt in the second period, did not play in the third. They had Urhoff got hurt in the third period when the Hawks, got away with a Paul Bunyan slash. And then Trennan was off for 5 minutes for the fight with Murphy. So they're playing with 9 forwards for 5 minutes there in the third period. And they're on this winning streak without Ryan Hartman, without Marco Rossi. Vinny Hastroza, who's played well for them, is out as well. So and Vladimir Tarasenko, all those guys are hurt.
Yeah.
And they're still winning. So credit to them. They're finding their stride. They're playing their brand of hockey, and they're getting world-class goaltending. They had back-to-back shutouts coming into this game, and Gustafsson was great. His goalposts were even better.
They helped. They certainly helped.
But man, it was overall good game by the Blackhawks. Just frustrating and annoying, and good for the Blackhawks. They give up, they go down, they get up. They gave up those 2 goals. Now it's 2-2. And, last year's Blackhawks, 2 years ago's Blackhawks, they're done. They lose that game 5-2. But they come back and they score. They take the lead. Unfortunately, they can't figure out how to hold it. Some bad luck there. They can't stop hitting the post. But plenty of good things to come out of this. I'm sure we'll get into it this morning. Yesterday, Jeff Blashill talked about, the best way to beat a team as well-structured defensively as the Wild is getting more shots, especially from the defensemen. Well, that message was received tonight. Yeah. They were shooting often. The defensemen were active all night long. Wyatt Kaiser set the tone early with 2 shots in the first 16 seconds of the game, and it continued. It continued from there. Levshunov was active in the zone. Matt Grzelcyk was good as well. So they got the message from Blashill and went out there and executed it. It just sucks that it ended the way it did, but the Wild have great players. They play a great team game, and they just 1 goal better tonight. They were helped by goalposts and a bum ass call, but that doesn't change the fact that they, for the last 20 minutes of the game, were a really effective team.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And you mentioned Levshunov, and finally gets his first NHL goal. Hit the post clean a couple times. Could have had 3 or 4 in this game, and they said it on the broadcast like one of his best games as a pro. I think Levshunov was excellent tonight. Final line for him, a goal. He played 18-16, 3 shots on goal, 7 shot attempts, and 2 block shots for him. You could see after that goal came too. I think, did the Hawks get a power play after that, or was I thinking about overtime? Yeah. He was just like, when we usually see him very timid on the power play, like slow drop, moving with speed. You could see like the monkey off his back a little bit.
He's gripping that stick a little less tight.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, that's a good point. We could definitely see Artie get, 3 or 4 goals in the next week or so. He gets that first one, all of a sudden they start coming a little more, and you look at his point totals and be like, oh, okay, we got something going here.
Well, I've been very high on him all year, and of course there have been those moments with him. But I will say, is this the first game, unless I'm missing something, where there was not a holy crap Artie moment?
Not in a bad way, no.
Right.
Yeah, there were a few holy crap, good holy crap.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Holy crap, I can't believe he hit the post again.
But there was none of those, oh my God, what is he doing?
It was all good for Artie, and kind of appropriate and fun that on the same night Levshunov scores his first goal of the season in Chicago, Kevin Korchinski scored his first goal for the Ice Hogs tonight. So,
future partners, maybe.
There you go. I don't know about that. That's a little holy crap. Too much holy crap.
All right, fair enough.
Like, I feel so happy for Artie. He's just such a likable guy. And although, now this is sarcasm, kids.
Okay. Use the font.
You're still going to cut it out and out of context anyway. Little disappointed in the goal celebration.
It was a bit. It was a watching
it was a
replay,
little under.
I thought he was gonna. I thought he was gonna go crazy.
He was gonna pull a slap shot and just be down to his jockstrap.
Like the Theo Fleury celebration, which is one of the greatest of all time.
He's got. But somebody on social media pointed out. He goes, that just goes to show you that he's more happy for the team's success than his own. Like, all right,
yeah,
I'll
sure.
allow
That's
it.
a nice spin. I'll take that. It was a little bit Bobby Orion that he got to the net, put the puck in, got a little tripped up, had to leave his feet.
Two arms. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I'm very happy for him, and it has to feel great for him to finally. He's been feeling that. He's getting power play time. He's on the ice a lot, and like, man, what do I got to do to get a goal? He's got a great. I always think about this with Chris Chelios. Like Chris Chelios said, what a lot of people described as a heavy shot. I don't really know how to define that, but when it hit the goal, it just made a different sound. It was more of a thud.
Yeah, his were always, they got there in a hurry.
Yeah.
He didn't have
There was just some zip behind it. Levshunov has a heavy shot too, and it's a matter of time before they start flooding in. So happy for him. Look, there's a lot of good to talk about in this game, and we're certainly going to do it. So make sure you stick around. We've got to hit the break zone. We're going to hear from Connor Bedard here in a moment, but we want to let you know about our Game Puck nominees. Greg, you're going with Wyatt Kaiser?
Yep. I think he set the tone early, and the rest of the team kind of picked up on it as well.
I'm going with Connor Bedard, who had a goal and an assist, 3 shots and 8 shot attempts. Also another night, 50% of his faceoffs, 7-7 for Connor Bedard. So the faceoff thing is getting significantly better. And Mario is nominating Artyom Levshunov. So get your votes in. We'll reveal the winner at the end of the show. We've also got to visit the frat house today. I think there'll be a young 20-year-old Belarusian partying things up in the frat house later on. So stick around, hit that like button.
Who could that be?
We'll talk to you in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And with Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if your football team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. So download the Bet365 app. Use our code CHGO365 when you sign up. Lots of great offers. Thursday Night Football, they got the $10 safety net bet. Thursday Night Football, you can be part of the $365,000 jackpot. It's awesome. Check it out. Breaking news from Bet365. If you're a new customer, you get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5. Win or lose, sign up. Use our code CHGO365. Deposit $10. Place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. Win or lose, use those on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus. If you or somebody you know has a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And a reminder that this offer is in-app only. And get ready, CHGO Sports is teaming up with Loyola Basketball, the Ramblers, Saturday, December 6th at 1:30 for the Loyola versus Princeton at Gentile Arena in Rogers Park. Come out to see us support Loyola Basketball. Joy in Gentile, holiday game, the perfect family event with Santa Claus. Busy time of year for him. He's going to be there. Holiday music, a halftime baby race. I don't know what that is, but that sounds fun. That's worth the price of admission alone. Prizes and more. The Ramblers have won over 80% of their games in the Gentile Arena since 2021. Miles Rubin, you all know him. Chicago native, Simeon product, and is one of the nation's best defenders in the paint, averaging over 3 blocks a game. Man, the Hawks need him. And just set Loyola's record for block shots in her career. So go to RamblerTickets.com. Use our code CHGO for $5 off your ticket. Ticket prices start for as low as $15. Again, go to RamblerTickets.com, code CHGO. And we're back on CHGO Blackhawks. Thanks for sticking with us through the break. Connor Bedard met the media after the game. Let's hear what he had to say. This courtesy of Mario Tirabassi's iPhone.
That we'll clean up, and overall I thought there's a lot of positives to take away, but in the end, obviously, got to come out with the 2.
It's 2 straight games like that where you feel like you deserve to win but didn't. What's the team's mindset after games like that?
Immediately after, you're always going to be frustrated after a loss, but I think there's so many games, and you can't take every game as a game 7, but at the end of the day, it's everyone in our conference and our division is so tight, and every point matters. So we got to figure out how to win. But end of the day, it's over now. We got to see what went right, see what went wrong, and just keep improving.
How exciting was it for Levshunov to get his first?
Yeah, that was amazing to see. He played an amazing game today, and he hit the post and had some looks, and he's had so many looks. So it's awesome to see that. See anyone get there first, but he's just been getting better every single game, and been a stud for us. So it's exciting to see.
9 out of 10 defensemen are just shooting it from the circle there, but he makes the move. Like, is that kind of what makes him special? He's got those offensive instincts.
Yeah, just so poised. He never panics. His heart rate's got to be 25, 30 during the game, and that's something that you can't teach. And just seeing some of the plays he makes where he's under pressure and he's never rushing it, never panicked. And like I said, that's not something you can work on that much or teach someone to do. It's just you have it or you don't. And he has it, so we're lucky to have him, and he's just going to keep getting better.
What do you think the challenge has been with the lead protection in some of the recent games?
What do you?
Well, I think it's 3 of the last 5. There's been a 2-0 lead that's
lead protection.
Yeah.
Okay, I misheard you. Like I said, I think just little things like, I'll put that one on myself. I think I was on for every goal against, and I lose Boldy there for the tire, and it's just little stuff like that, and so just that's something there we're all gonna get better at. I'm gonna get better at, and it's just not making those mistakes and giving them those easy goals.
What do you think of the penalty in overtime?
I don't know. I got flattened, so I didn't get to see it. The hit on me was a great hit, super clean, and maybe the puck was kind of his feet or something, and Mickey makes a great hit. But at the end of the day, we're not going to blame the refs. They got a job to do. It's not always easy for them, and we can't just go watch it and say it should have been not called, because in reality that's not what happened. So I don't have much to say. I'd have to watch it, but they're professionals, and they see it, and they're going to make a call as they see it.
How nice was Rinzal's pass on your goal?
Yeah, it's beautiful. I think Bert as well makes a great play to Rins, and then a lot of guys in the league are shooting that. Kind of like I talked about with Artie, just the patience and awareness to not just rip it and panic in moments like those. And I was able to get a really easy goal there, and it's a great play by him.
All right, that is Connor Bedard post-game today. We're going to hear from Jeff Blashill a little bit later when Mario joins us from the United Center. I think he was you could see that some people are mentioning it in the comments, like just how much more mature he seems and how big of a leader he's growing into. And look, he said, totally clean hit on me. Didn't really get to see what Mikheyev did. The Mikheyev hit, that's a tough one in overtime, man. That is a tough call to make. And was it retaliatory? Yeah. But the puck was right there. It was right there when he laid that hit on Eriksson Ek. So interference in an overtime game, I don't know. That seems a little ticky-tack to me.
That happens in a playoff game.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's, Connor said it right. The refs, it's a fast game, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. It just sucks that, these type of calls that are these fast, blink of an eye calls keep going against the Blackhawks. Yeah. It's frustrating and annoying. Are the NHL refs out to screw the Blackhawks? No,
I don't think so.
There's no I'm not going to put on a tinfoil hat here and say there's a conspiracy.
Look, if
are the refs betting against the Blackhawks every night and making sure that the under comes in? No, that's not happening. It's just starting to become like every game you expect one bad call to go against them. That's just where we are at this point. Now, they very easily, Matt Grzelcyk could have been called for that slash after the breakaway.
Yep.
And that got let go. You know, I am surprised Connor Murphy didn't get some sort of penalty on that play with Eriksson that, you know, right before the fight. I'm surprised, you know.
Yeah, he shouldn't have, but surprised he didn't.
Right, while the two buffoons were complaining about the hook, you know, pushing his head directly face first in the boards usually is a penalty.
Yeah.
So it's not, the game wasn't all stacked up against the Blackhawks. They got away with some stuff too, but at that point
it's a tough
of the
call
game,
to make at that point.
it's tough
Yes.
to make that play. If the puck was another 5 feet away, fine. But the only reason Mikheyev is laying that hit is in response to the hard hit on Bedard.
Right.
So if you let that one go, because it was a clean hit, at first, when it happened, I thought there was an elbow out, but then when the replay came, it was, okay, that's a clean hit. That's a fine hit. Hit him in the chest. All good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to make that call.
Yeah.
These things are supposed to even out in the end. I'm just waiting for...
Hopefully they do.
I'm waiting for the game where the Blackhawks get a bad call in their favor and win a game because of it.
So even with that, they're 2 points out of a playoff spot right now.
Hey, if you would have said that...
At Thanksgiving, 2 points out?
If you would have said that 10 minutes before puck drop in Florida, hey, this team's going to be 2 points out of a playoff spot on Thanksgiving night, I would have said... You've been using your Sunnyside discount code.
Yeah.
So every Blackhawk fan out there would jump on this.
Yeah.
Back in October before the season started. They'd love to be in this spot. So listen, things are definitely on the upswing. That's why losses like this, losses to Seattle, that lousy game against Buffalo, that's why they sting more now than they have in the past, because you know this team is better and deserves better. That's the thing. They deserve to win tonight. They deserve to win that Seattle game. And when they don't, it gets, you know, frustrating and annoying. And that's where we are now. But it only is that way because these games mean more.
Well, yeah. And look, if you think there's a conspiracy to screw the Blackhawks, is it more in the league's interest that the Blackhawks be good or the Minnesota Wild be good? If the league is going to conspire for a team, it's probably the Blackhawks. If they're gonna, I just think it's incompetence. I just think it's incompetent refereeing, and it is screwed the Hawks. Look, we watch every Hawks game. I don't watch every NHL game. I see a lot of fans from a lot of markets complaining against the Hawks or complaining about the refs, but it just feels like every game we are spending a significant amount of time talking about a call, and to me, that should be a once a week thing where there's a call that requires extended discussion. In the Blackhawks games this year, it feels like it is every single night. And it's usually against the Blackhawks, and it doesn't work in their favor.
But at least that one ref got his Chuck and Nooks call.
Chuck and Nooks.
Douchebag.
Look at me.
I was so irrationally mad about that.
You are an old man yelling at cloud about
Nobody's
that.
there to watch the ref make a penalty call. Nobody.
I am.
Maybe get the call right.
That's how I was like, everyone, shh, he's making the call.
At least you got your viral moment with Chuck and Nooks. Clown.
Yeah.
Absolute clown.
Greg was so mad about that. I thought it was funny. But you know.
I don't want to be entertained by the refs anymore.
Yeah.
They're not entertaining me.
I'm just tired of talking about.
Yes,
I
I would love to have one of these great home post game shows where we don't have to talk about officials.
Yeah, it is incredibly frustrating that night after night we have to flap gums about the stripes. It's dumb, and we talk like you say all the time. Like the best referees are the ones you don't know their names because they don't come up. Like Bill McCreary, Don Koharski, Tim Peel. These are the bad referees in my life. You know why? Because I know their names.
And Magoo, what was his name?
I like Pure Shampoo was my favorite. No relation to Pure Conditioner.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, listen, I never thought I would know Justin Kia's name, but here we are.
Yeah.
Now, every time I'm going to see that guy's name on the score sheet, I'm like, oh, it's that guy again. Watch out.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to hit the break zone. Mario is standing by from the UC with fresh tape from Jeff Blashill, so stick around. We'll be back in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks. Winter is not here officially, but if you were outside today, it's winter. Is your home holding up? How's your furnace doing today? Are you toasty? Are you chilly? Well, you know what? Now is the time to schedule your Four Seasons furnace tune-up. At Four Seasons, they guarantee same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and generator needs with no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. Save up to $4,000 on furnaces and comfort systems with Four Seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. Furnaces start at $39 a month. That's like one trip to Chipotle. And furnace AC combos for $57 a month. Four Seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric has been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. Your local trusted experts are Four Seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. Again, that's Four Seasons Heating, Cooling.com. Get your house toasty. Let's go. And forget one day only. Black Friday is going on all month long at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. Come in today to shop the Black Friday sales event and drive home with 10 to 30% off MSRP on new Chevy models, plus no payments for 120 days. Or check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories, you're sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. And as one of the nation's top-selling Chevy dealers, one of the top Chevy dealers in the Midwest, they're able to keep their prices competitive, so you know you're going to get a great deal. Plus, Ray's Price Promise lets you shop confidently because the price you see is the price you pay. Go see for yourself. Visit our partner at their convenient location right on Route 12 in Fox Lake, and don't miss out on their Black Friday sales event going on all month long for 10 to 30% off MSRP on new Chevy models, plus no payments for 120 days. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. All right, we are back on CHGO Blackhawks. Thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate it. Hawks lose 4-3 in overtime to the Wild. Do us a favor, hit that like button for us as Mario Tirabassi joins us right now live from the bowels of the United Center. It's kind of gross when you think about the term bowels.
Yeah, but you love that.
Bowels. It's good. I don't know. It tells you what it is. It is the bowels.
Let's talk to Mario.
All right. There's Mario.
Let's save you.
Mario, how are your bowels? Any glutens tonight?
This might be the best introduction I've ever had to a post-game show. So thank you. I appreciate that. It fits the way the game ended. The way the game ended was bowels.
Yes, it was a kick in the bowels, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we started the show. Look, the Hawks played a very good game today, and they deserve to win. But the first kind of points we made was the thing this team needs to learn now, since they're more talented and they're significantly better and better coaches, how to close out these games and how to take 2 points away on a game where you play so well. So I'm wondering if that was addressed by Jeff Blashill in the postgame.
It was. You want to lead right into the clip because it's ready to go. He talked about.
Oh yeah, sure. I actually did not even preview the clip, so look at that.
Perfect.
Yeah,
it's perfect. It's the first one I sent in, so tee it right up.
All right.
He said
What
confidently.
out of this one?
Yeah, it's tough. We obviously played, you're going to win the game more than not. But it's probably a learning process for us. I thought there was times throughout the year we did a good job of either coming back or winning those close games. We went through a stretch where we were doing a really good job of it. And now, we've given up a couple leads here in the last few games. I'm glad we're in that spot, but, part of the learning process is to find a way to make sure there's no way you lose that game. We played too good to lose it. That's what what we're trying to figure out here is just kind of grinding and getting better.
Can you pinpoint anything as far as the struggles for lead protection recently?
I thought I don't know that they're always the same. I thought tonight we lacked a little bit of poise with the puck in the third, where the best way to you got to skate yourself out of pressure and make tape-to-tape passes, and because of that I thought we had a little bit on our heels. The goals we've had a number of point shot goals that we got to do a better job. It's just a lot of guys in roles that they just got to continue to grow as players in those situations.
I guess what?
Yeah, that's he said it in the third period, the puck management, and you are seeing this team kind of feeling like, oh man, we're starting to blow leads late. Let's make sure we don't blow a lead late. And when you start thinking that way, you're going to blow a lead late. It's almost inevitable, especially a team this young and inexperienced. So I think look, they will work it out. And when it's time to compete and when it's time to hit the playoffs, they'll have these lessons underneath their belts, but it doesn't make it any less frustrating after the game.
Yeah, I think this Ben Pope after the game was saying, I think he even tweeted this out too, but 3 of the last 5 games that they've played, they've had a 2-0 lead, and it's been erased at some point in the game. So that is frustrating because there's only so many times that you can say, well, we got out to a 2-0 lead. Well, okay, what was the result? Like that's where teams turn the corner from rebuilding and growing pains and moral victories are okay to the teams that you expect the result. You expect 2-point efforts to become 2 points in the standings. And I think we're at the cusp of that with this Blackhawks group, where they're putting themselves in positions like that, like having 2-0 leads, going into third periods with leads. For the most part this season, outplaying opponents in third periods. Like they're putting those things on tape that teams that become good teams start to do more consistently. It's just they're not doing it consistently right now, and it's frustrating because it's just kind of like that one of those last pieces of the puzzle to say, okay, they've fully moved on beyond the like rebuild phase, and now they're fully into the like climb upward phase, and they keep kind of teasing us of like, yes, they're out of the rebuild and they're out of these situations, but then they still kind of come back down to earth a little bit. I think the Colorado game, you hang your hat and say that's a really good performance. This game was also a really good performance, but unlike the Colorado game, you had a 2-0 lead, you had a 3-2 lead, and you had a 2-point effort, but you don't get 2 points in the standings, so you come away a little frustrated. And that's before you even factor in the officiating side of things. But I think, you want these guys to get rewarded for it because they're putting in efforts that against most teams in the league, you're getting wins.
Yeah, look, I'm very confident saying, regardless of the result of this game or the last few, well, maybe Buffalo, but the normal games this year, they're the rebuild phase is over. Now it is the climb up. And I think that one of the good things about having a coaching staff that's as involved and as vocal, and everyone you talked about, Jeff Blashill, says how clear of a communicator he is. And I think he's going to use these opportunities to say, look how well you're playing. Look how you, for 40 minutes, took it to one of the better teams in the Central Division, one of the better teams in the Western Conference. Like, you had this game well in control. All we've got to do now, the final piece of this puzzle, is figuring out how to put it together. And you've got two 20-year-old, a 20-year-old defenseman, a 20-year-old forward. How old is it, Renzel? 22? Like, you've got
22, if that.
Yeah, like, this is a super young and inexperienced team. You're also without your captain, who is your vocal leader on the bench, who is also more effective on the ice than gets credit for. You're also without Andrei Burakovsky, who is one of your top scorers and power play threats and top line player. You've got Ryan Green kind of playing over his skis, and you're still right there with Colorado, who, by the way, beat the Sharks 6-0 tonight. You lost 1-0 and outplayed them for 60 minutes, right?
That's
so I think, that phase of the rebuild is gone. So, like, now and again, we'll get someone in the chat like, good, we're closer to McKenna. No, screw that.
Yeah.
That is over. That is over. The team has moved on. They're playing way better than that. This is not a lottery pick team. And, all they have to do now is just figure out, okay, what's happening late? Let's all communicate. Let's talk it through, and let's fix it. And I think they're on their way to doing it. When I see that, I was very fearful about what that Buffalo loss would do to this team, and they've responded with two of their best games of the year, and they have 1 point to show for it. Frustrating, but encouraging that they've put together 120 really solid minutes of hockey after getting their ass kicked by bums.
I mean, you look at it following the Buffalo game, right, where you're embarrassed essentially 9-3 against a team that you should have beat. You play the best two teams that there has been in the NHL in the month of November. Coming into tonight, Colorado, well, you know the result of their game. They're 10-0-1 in the month of November this season, and with the win tonight, Minnesota is 10-1-1 in November. And you played both of those teams in the last 2 games, and you lost 1-0 to Colorado on a Cale Makar goal that very few people in the league not named Cale Makar can score. And you go to overtime, you lose in overtime because Kirill Kaprizov scores on a power play in overtime. Like if those are the ways you're losing these games because Cale Makar and Kirill Kaprizov are scoring the game winners, like I agree. I think there's only so much that you can like get upset about in those in those instances and those results for where this team is at right now.
Yeah, I think the frustration and look, like, honest, like we all have this. Like our job is to jump on the air as soon as the game ends. So as the post-game show rolls on, we kind of like talk ourselves through it, right? Like, so we probably start off a little more fired up, and then as the show goes on, we're like, you know what? Looking back on it, probably not as. For me, the frustration is more for them. It's not with them, it's for them. Of you put together games like this, and you've got very little to show for it, and you just don't want that to. You don't want that to. It's not going to stunt their growth by any means. I don't want them to feel like. Get frustrated and be like, man, whatever we do, we can't get a win. I don't want them to lose what they've got this year.
You just don't want them to get in that mindset of when you're up 2-0 and then it's 2-1 of, here we go again. Where they doom themselves. I don't think they will. I think between the coaching staff and this young team, they won't get into that habit, but it's just, you don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that either for them, but it feels like this, and I don't have the means to look this up right now, or I haven't had it to do it tonight, but it feels like they have to be pretty high in the league as far as goals given up in the final minute, 2 minutes of a period. Because I feel like we've gone into intermissions quite often this year where it's just like, well, they were up 1-0, but now it's 1-1. Or they had a 2-0 lead and they score 13 seconds left tonight in the second period and it's 2-1. Then they score early in the third and it's 2-2 and it's a completely different game and the momentum is swung. So I would hope that is something that they can tighten up as the season goes on. I don't know if it's just you get nervous trying to close out a period, or if you're leading and a team is pushing, it's just kind of trying to weather that push to the final horn of the period or whatever it is. But it just seems like this team has a bad knack for giving up goals in those final minute, final 2 minutes of a period. I don't know what it is.
Changers for sure.
Well,
definitely momentum changers. But one thing that I saw tonight that makes me confident that they're not going to be the team that gets the here we go again mentality is it went 2-2. And they came back and took the 3-2.
Yep.
Like a team that is ready to just inevitably take their fate doesn't score that third goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a third goal it was, by the way. Connor Bedard makes a amazing cross ice pass right to Artyom Levshunov, who I think Jeff Blashill talked about it, and Bedard kind of talked about it too. Is that most defensemen in that spot, they're firing the puck right away. But Levshunov has, the ability and confidence to try and take it to the net and make a move and gets his first goal. So that was awesome to see, not only for, that moment individually for Levshunov, but collectively what it was for the team at that time. That was, putting a stop to the Wild's momentum swing back in their direction.
Yeah, between that and the Rinzel pass on the Bedard goal, there's a lot to be excited about. Like, we're going to see those guys make those kind of plays for many years here.
I think Rinzel, by the way, has had a couple nice games in a row, and I liked his game tonight too. I haven't checked his final numbers, but early in the game he was like at the bottom in terms of possession, and that meant 50%. So today he ended the game at 44%, 11 shot attempts for 14 again, so nothing crazy there. But just, again, kind of confident with the puck, controlling it, holding on to it offensively. Looks like his confidence is back with the puck a little bit. He hasn't been perfect, but you kind of worried about, like, okay, he gets scratched. How's he going to respond? I think he's responded well since that scratch. But let's continue the conversation about Levshunov, because I know that I'm now looking at the things you said, and I know Blashill talked about him, but it's got to be just such a relief for him to get that monkey off his back, because he's had so many good looks and so many good chances, and could easily have 3 or 4 goals this year, and could have had 3 or 4 tonight also. But what did Blashill have to say about him?
Yeah, I mean, Levshunov, he gets his first goal, but like you said, like, he was like inches away on at least 2 other shots on net that either hit the post or like just missed. Like, he was all over it tonight, and he's kind of been snake bitten like that all season. But yeah, Blashill had some good things to say about him, and a little pat on the back to Rinzel as well when asked about the young defenseman.
Yeah, good. I think, Arty's been kind of knocking on the door to score here for a while. I thought it was going to be a bigger celebration, to be honest with you. But I thought that was pretty cool. His mom and brother are still in town, so that was pretty cool. He got to have that moment, and good for him. And then, I thought Rins has played much better here the last couple of games.
That's cool that his mom and brother got to see that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, good for him. All right, we got to hit the break zone. Back with more with Mario Tirabassi. We still got to get to the frat house. We've still got to answer some super chats. We've still got to give the game puck lots to do.
Still got to crap on ESPN Plus.
We got to do that too. Back in a few minutes on CHGO Blackhawks. The moment you've all been there, you got your sunglasses on top of your car, and then you drive away and you realize you never removed your sunglasses from the top of your car, and now you've got no sunglasses, and that's not good. Don't do that. But if you do, guess what? Shady Rays, they've got your back. They changed the game. Their sunglasses are made for real life. Not only do they look great, they're polarized, which means you see wonderfully out of them. They're durable, which means even if they do fall off your roof and you remember, they're not going to be broken. And they're affordable. That's the key. But the best part, if you lose or break them, even on the first dang day, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacement. So now you can actually wear your shades without fear. On hikes, at concerts, on the boat, skiing, wherever, Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. And we've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you a great offer. Head to shadyrays.com. Use our code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 million, billion, bajillion people. And exciting action in hockey. You want to get out to see the Hawks. You want to see NHL anywhere. Game Time is the app to use. It gives the advantage back to fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in a few taps. It's super easy to use. And the Game Time guarantee means you can trust you're going to get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are always included, so there's no surprises at checkout. That's the best. They've got exclusive discounts like zone deals. You choose a section. Game Time selects the seats, and you save. And with the seat view, you get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use our code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the code CHGO for $20 off. Tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. Friends, I got bad news. Our early access Black Friday sale is over. You missed it. But guess what? Our Black Friday sale is now on for everybody. So you don't need diehard early access. Everyone now has access to our diehard sale. Go to store.allcitynetwork.com. Oh, we've got our lineups up there. Mario and I built our CHGO merch lineups. Do we want to get to these now, or do we want to tease them for social? What do we want to do?
Well, they're on the screen. You want to talk about them?
We should, yeah. So I got my, I picked my 5. These are my 5 favorite CHGO shirts. My top line center is a CHGO hockey shirt with the cartoon hawk. Love that. You got the legendary 81 on right wing, naturally. They can't all be dark. So you need the left wing is the CHGO pizza shirt. Love that one. Left defense is the awesome new skull and cross hockey sticks design. Those have shipped, so you should be getting those soon if you ordered. And then we've got the CHGO Bears design on the right, and then the in goal, the skyline design. Every time I wear that shirt, someone asks me where I got it. That is the one that generates the most conversation. That one with the skyline. So get yours. It's stored at ALLCITY Network. Mario, you want to outline your favorites?
Sure. My top line is centered by the CHGO script shirt that is like the early days of the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls, flanked by the CHGO hockey shirts that are two of my favorite, the CHGO Fat Parrot one on the right, and then the 98C, which is just happens to be the same number as Connor Bedard, but it's just a 98C video game character on the jersey. My defensive pair is the CHGO shirt that is in the stylings of the CTA. And then one of the original CHGO Bear shirts was actually the Walter Payton goal line dive. I love that shirt, and I love the nostalgia that it sells for the Chicago Bears. And then in net for me, I went with a different strategy. I picked I put two shirts in there, but they're the same shirt. It's the it's the CHGO pizza box one. I love that shirt, and of course, I have a pizza stain on mine, so I only wear it at home now. But it's still a great shirt.
All right, well, stock up. Get yours stored at allcitynetwork.com. Up to 90% off. Up to 90. Everything is 30% off or more. So jump on it, stored at allcitynetwork.com. All right.
I have all those shirts in a bin in my house. Maybe one day I'll wear them again.
Keep them handy. You never know. Keep them handy. All right, what else did we learn post-game? Anything else we need to share? Anything else exciting?
Well, yes. Jeff Blashill was asked about the more definitive play of the game, the Ilya Mikheyev penalty called in overtime. My 2 cents, it's not a penalty. And I think Jeff Blashill would agree. And this is what he had to say after the game about that sequence.
Make of the penalty in overtime.
What did you make of it? Did we change the rule?
No opinion.
Did we change the rule? I don't know. Like it's a reactionary call that I think my gut, if I was to get climbing into Furman's mind, is that he thought Mickey just went over and hit him because he hit Connor. But the reality is right before Eriksson got hit, he had the puck. It's not interference.
You talked this morning.
There you go. I mean, he has been pretty diplomatic so far, but that's not interference. And you saw on TV after that happened, he said, "What are we doing?" or something along those lines, and just the saliva flying out of Jeff Blashill's mouth onto a poor hapless Blackhawk on the bench.
We're one more bad call from the Coach Q nut grab. That's coming soon.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh. Hey,
I'm surprised we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know what? It's getting to that point. I know you guys, I heard a little bit before I got on here, but it's to that point where it's just like, how many games, how many calls are we going to have to see that are just missed or are just across the board panned as like, that's a bad call or that's a missed call? Another game, another instance where I'm going on social media after the game and all of hockey Twitter, or most of them that were paying attention to the Blackhawks game tonight, are saying the same things that we are about. That's not a penalty, missed calls late in the game, and Jeff Blashill said it the other night with the Bedard breakaway play, right, where he doesn't get the call on the breakaway and then gets the unsportsmanlike for letting the referee hear about it. At this point, you're deciding games. Like you're late in the third period, and Oliver Moore gets tripped. No call. Now, it does come back around about a minute later where Oliver Moore again gets a penalty against him, but they actually call it with about 3 minutes left to play, so you go on the power play, right? Blackhawks have the power play. They're in the offensive zone. They're controlling the puck on the power play. Connor Bedard was out there for basically the entire 2 minutes. Late in the power play, Connor Bedard is hooked and brought down. Yeah. Well, God forbid you give the Blackhawks a 5-on-3 when a penalty is actually happening against Connor Bedard. But no, you can't do that. You can't make that call. You can't give them that advantage. Well, why not? It's a penalty.
Not in that moment, you can't make that call.
You got to manage the game. No, you can't. You can't have it be uneven. Except that the Minnesota Wild are the league leader in penalty differential. They have a plus 29 penalty differential for drawn versus taken this season. Do you know what second place is? Plus 14. They have double the amount of positive penalty differential than the second place team does. You know where the Blackhawks are at? Tied for last in the league, minus 17.
Yep.
But no, you got to manage the game. Can't call penalty. You can't call penalties as they happen.
I think this is also the nonsense of you're a young player. You're not getting the benefit of the doubt. You have to earn it. You have to have your stripes in the league to get these borderline calls. I don't know how you say that, but if you're watching on YouTube, you have my opinion.
For those of you listening at home, I believe Jay pulled off the winking motion.
That was the winking motion.
Yeah, it's a wank situation that it keeps happening.
So many wanks.
That is a shirt idea. It's a wank situation with a referee on it.
Print it. And it keeps happening to Bedard. I want to scream like I'm in studio, but I can't because I'm in the bowels of the United Center and there's people around.
Scream in the balls. That's unhealthy for you.
Yeah, that's not good. But it keeps happening to Bedard, and I can't keep ignoring that. Like, sure, he's a little mouthy, but what top elite talent star, when they're 20 years old in the league and aren't getting penalties called against them, doesn't get a little mouthy? Yeah. And like,
watch Sidney Crosby. Go watch Jonathan Taves.
All of them.
Yes.
Watch all of them. Like, you can't just let this keep going because it's going to get louder the more it happens. And then, to get back to what I was talking about, like that doesn't, so you don't get that penalty on Bedard while the Blackhawks are on the power play to give them a fraction of time at 5-on-3, right? Okay. Then you go into overtime and you get the bang play with Bedard and Eriksson Ek and Mikheyev. But then you're calling Mikheyev for the interference. Now you're giving the Wild a power play in overtime. Well, isn't that quite the advantage? Man, it's getting frustrating.
Well, according to John Buccigross, that Bedard play on power play, he was just out there trying to draw a penalty and didn't get it. No, he was put in a sleeper hold and thrown down on the ice. Worst play-by-play
like
guy
embellishment
ever.
Is what he's saying?
He was just trying. I don't know. He just said look, there's Bedard trying to get a penalty drawn, but he doesn't get the call. No, he had a penalty against him and didn't get the call. He wasn't trying to get it drawn. He was wrapped up and thrown to the ice. Watch the game.
Yeah,
that's
very frustrating.
I'm just getting very frustrated, and it's not even. I mean, yes, it is as a fan and someone who wants this team to succeed, but it's also just like you were saying earlier, Jay, about like you feel it, feel it for these guys who feel like you're watching them play and you're like they should be earning these calls. They are earning these calls. These are penalties that aren't being called. And it's tilting games, and it's tilting games away from their favor. Like I'm sure we all sound like homers, but it's on film. Go back and watch. I rarely think we're going to be in the wrong on a lot of these missed calls or non-calls or whatever.
You shouldn't have to earn a penalty. Rules are rules. They're black and white. If they're broken, they should be called.
And like isn't that the whole justification for having? By the way, we're going to go to overtime. So if you are watching us on your Roku or Samsung TV or whatever it might be, switch on over to allchgo.com to continue the show. But like, what was I saying? I forgot my point.
You were talking about the refs.
Yeah.
Earning calls.
Yeah.
Rules are rules.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The whole point of having replay is like, well, we have the opportunity to get the call right, and we owe it to the fans in the league to get the call correct. Okay, well then call the game correctly for both teams. Like Greg said several times, like the Hawks got away with a couple pretty blatant things too. But if you're like, either let them play or don't, right? Or like you're saying, Mario, like, oh, God forbid you put the Hawks on a 5-on-3 late, but you're very happy to put the Wild on a power play in overtime, which I think if you asked, like an overtime power play is, I don't know the total percentage of that, but it's a pretty high percentage of teams score on that.
It's a lot of room.
That's a ton of room, and you've got your 4 highest skilled guys on there. I don't know. What just as frustrating is the inconsistency. It's just,
if you set the standard in the first period, continue that standard throughout the game. Don't change it as the game goes on.
Yes, and like you start a game, you say, okay, the refs today clearly are they're going to let things go, or they're going to call a tighter game, whatever it might be. But it shouldn't change as the game goes on.
Right.
I don't know. It's just it's irritating, and I'm so tired of talking about like I said, every game we've got to spend time on the refs. It sucks.
That's the worst part about it.
Yeah.
We're wasting valuable showtime, valuable time with our lovely diehards in the chat talking about, goofs and referee. But Chuck and Nux.
Idiot. Great point in the chat by Mike Boudry 2391. He says, we didn't bitch about the offside call for the Bertuzzi goal. We just want the game to be called fairly. Exactly. The offside call was the right call. We didn't say Eriksson Ek should have gotten a penalty for the hit on Bedard. It was a clean hit. But to call that on Mikheyev when the puck is basically touching Eriksson, he didn't have control of it. But it's not like the puck was down the ice.
When he started the motion of the hit, he had the puck.
Right.
It's down at his feet. Like, that's fair play. Yeah.
All right, well, join us Friday for more referee talk after the game.
I can't wait to see what bad call we get to talk about and not talk about black jerseys.
Yeah. All right, well, remember, this weekend, if you're going, wear black. Blackout time. It's going to look awesome. Can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see those jerseys back on the ice. Mario, I know you're excited for it, too. We're going to let you go, man. It's late. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow. We'll talk to you Saturday, or what day? Friday, postgame.
Friday. Yep, looking forward to it.
That is Mario Tirabassi. Yeah, you too, man. That is Mario Tirabassi from the United Center. Make sure you're following him on Twitter at Mario_Tirabassi. The main reason we're going to overtime is because we want to yell about ESPN.
Right.
And Greg and I had the advantage of only having to watch one period.
Thank God.
Of the
that
broadcast.
Was one too many.
First of all, the game was over for like legitimately 3.5 minutes before the goal was scored on TV. Pete Blackburn from What Chaos drew attention. It's like, is ESPN Plus well delayed? And here's what they're doing from what Pete figured out is they're adding time to the commercial breaks because the TV timeout, I'm trying to recall from my time of producing games, I believe it's 1:35 or 1:45 is the assigned time for a commercial break. But ESPN's taking like 2 minutes and then they just join it. They don't join it in progress, but they just delay it. So it's not live after the first time out. And then that builds up over 3 periods and intermissions. So the broadcast is 3 effing minutes of real time.
I literally went on Blue Sky to send something out as the face-off for that power play hadn't even started yet. And I already saw Mark Lazarus tweet out that Kaprizov had won the game.
Yeah.
That's how long it was.
Like, so if you're in, what percentage of fans of sports are, while they're watching, engaging in social media, tweeting about the games, NFL, NBA, whatever it is, it's part of the game viewing experience now is being online. So if ESPN Plus is going to intentionally be late so they can sell another 15-second ad, that is crap.
Just put the overlay on the screen.
Do that.
Put it on the
WWE
boards.
does it all the time. WWE will spend half of a match with a commercial playing on 2/3 of the screen.
You can't do that for hockey. I'd lose my mind.
Sure, but if you must, and with all that money you're making,
how many people are bending over backwards to advertise on an app game, a hockey game? I don't think that line is that long.
But you have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis? You might.
As Sarah Sivian wrote on her Substack a couple weeks ago, I'm a big fan of hers. She wrote an article called "Why is ESPN ESPN Plus run by 2 children in a trench coat?"
That's it.
I mean,
Mr. Muppet.
that's the start of it. But then they've got all these stupid fancy camera angles.
At the worst possible time.
3
too.
minutes to go in the third period of a tie game, and you've got a camera across the street.
They can't find the puck.
Then the
either.
guy running the main camera has never done a hockey game before because he can't keep up with the puck. You got your announcers mispronouncing names of guys who have been in the league for over a year, who are going to be stars in this league. Then you've got these just bad takes. I'm sorry. As I've said many times, John Buccigross is a great advocate for the sport of hockey. He should never be
not
a
a play-by-play
play-by-play
guy.
on any hockey game, period, end of sentence.
No, it's so bad. And like Mr. College Hockey with his hashtag and his hats, correct your partner when she's calling him Nazar. Because what that tells me is...
Or when you're calling him Connor Bedard.
Buccigross called him Berard. And I can... Because there's several hockey players named Berard, so I can like maybe excuse that a little.
They've all been retired for 20 years.
Correct. But like the Nazar thing, that tells me that Cassie Campbell did not do any prep for this game in terms of watching film, scouting games, watching the last few games the Hawks have played. That is part of the job. Part of the gig is not just being a former player or being an advocate for hockey like John Buccigross is. Part of being a play-by-play man, I'm sure if we had Jason Benetti or Rick Ball or Darren Pang or Eddie O or Pat Foley on this show, they would all say, yes, when I get ready for an opponent, I go, maybe I don't watch every moment of their last 3 games, but I'm certainly watching the condensed games. You can't tell me you've never heard the name Frank Nazar? You've never heard Nazar?
You're handed a pronunciation sheet in every arena you walk in. Like, it's on the internet too. Like, figure it out. You're on a national broadcast. Like, I'm sorry, ESPN, their NHL coverage from top to bottom, it's stinks, and it's not getting any better.
Yeah.
Their in-studio product is garbage. It's just, I don't know. And I get it. They're not, they have the NBA, they have the NFL, they have Major League Baseball. Fine. Then don't do hockey.
But Cassie Campbell and John Buccigross are not doing NFL or NBA or SportsCenter or any of that stuff. Their job is hockey. And if you know your assignment is Chicago and Minnesota, do the appropriate research so you know the star players on the home team's names. Is this so much to ask? Is it so much to ask to know it's Frank Nazar, not Nazar? He was the star player for USA in the World Championships, their leading scorer. He just signed a 7-year deal to be with the Blackhawks for the foreseeable future. He's one of the league's most bright young stars, not only in statistically, but also in personality. He's really popular on social media. The ladies seem to like him a lot. Like, he is a future, I would say he's a current star locally. Yeah. But it is going to pop for Frank Nazar nationally too as the Hawks get better. How do you not know his name? You're a rights holder. If you truly don't care about the product, just give it all to Turner. Give it all to Turner. I'll watch Biz and I'll watch Anson Carter and I'll watch all those guys because at least they're invested in the game.
Yeah, they actually watch the game in studio before they go back on the air too.
It's
bad. It's annoying.
I was so excited for hockey to come back on ESPN because that's where I grew up watching hockey.
Because ESPN used to be the pinnacle.
Well, you had Bill Pito and John Buccigross on NHL Tonight, 2 fans of the game in a studio show breaking it down. That's where those guys belong.
They're a far cry from the days of Gary Thorne and Bill Clement.
John Buccigross is not a play-by-play guy. You wouldn't put Terry Bradshaw on the play-by-play.
God,
you wouldn't put Howie Long on the play-by-play.
Right. He's not a play-by-play.
No,
guy.
like
keep him in studio where he can do his fun cliches and scream highlights at you. That's his best job.
All right, we've got to get some super chats in here before we wrap up. Nick J, $2. There's no comment there, so I'm sure there was something he said earlier in the show. We'll find that.
Thank you for the $2.
Young Dangle God gave us $1, so he must have mentioned Patrick Kane. We thank you very much for that, Young Dangle God. Justin Adams, $10, says the refs had some crap calls and no calls. That goal taken away to go 3-0 was a huge momentum swing, and the Wild just outplayed the Hawks after that. You want to win games, don't put it in the refs' hands. Yeah, I think that's kind of what we were summarizing early in the show. But just to be clear, that offside call on the Bertuzzi goal was the correct call. He was offside.
He should have been whistled at the play. It was pretty obvious.
Yeah. History Racer, $5 says Hawks love to come out hot, but need to learn how to score when they have momentum. Lots of empty analytics. Well, this is part of the thing that all the haters with the Z were saying when the Hawks got off to a hot start was, well, this PDO correction is coming because they can't sustain the shooting percentage and the save percentage. And we're definitely seeing it. They should have scored several more goals in this game, several against Colorado. Colorado, by the way, back-to-back-to-back shutouts.
3 in a row. Yeah.
You know what?
Impressive.
I'm going to say something controversial. Colorado Avalanche, pretty good.
Let's see how this plays out.
Let's give it some time.
All of a sudden, Scott Wedgwood is looking to be a Team Canada goalie.
I mean, good for him, but
do you want Jordan Binnington and his .880 save percentage right now?
He's going to go save the Oilers. What are you talking about?
Yeah, okay. Have fun with that.
All right. Ted Tell 1542 says, who the F is Berard? Brian Berard, former Blackhawks defenseman.
Is that
Good
the
old
guy,
number 4.
I always get Brian Berard and Brian McCabe confused.
They were both Blackhawks
Yes, they
defensemen.
were.
Brian
Which was-
Berard is one who got his eye sliced out during a game.
Ask who had the eye injury. Yeah, Brian Berard.
Brian Berard.
Were they traded for each other? Is that
No.
why I confused them?
They were just very similar.
Berard was traded for Karpetsov?
No, McCabe was.
Okay, see,
McCabe was our Karpetsov trade.
I will always confuse those
But
two.
Brian Berard with the Islanders took this is pre-visor.
Took a stick in the eye.
Someone turned around and shot at the goal, and the stick hit him in the eyeball, and he almost lost his eye. And if you look up a picture of Brian Berard, his headshots as a player, one of his eyes was half closed. He was partially blind in that eye, and he had that when he came to Chicago. But still, an effective.
Oh yeah,
puck
trust
mover.
me, I remember the. Oh great, we just signed a one-eyed defenseman.
Yeah,
That will work well.
But he was very defensive focused, but he was solid.
Brian Berard.
$2 from Mike Boudry says we miss Burakovsky, and another one from him for $5 says Foligno being gone has a clear effect on the team, regardless of whether or not he shows up on the score sheet. I agree. Nick Foligno, I've been saying this all season, is a way more effective player than he gets credit for, and we all know about the role he plays on the team. And you could see last practice he was there in street clothes, and today he was in the crowd selling the Foligno versus Foligno thing.
Yeah, did the puck drop with the cancer survivor.
Yeah.
Apparently he was in the booth in the second period doing play-by-play. So at least they had somebody who knew the Blackhawks names in the booth for a little while.
That's nice. That's a nice thing. Pony Rider gives us $2 and says, can you focus on the ref show? We did. Thank you, Pony Rider.
We weren't until you gave us the $2.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you.
And Windy City Hockey, $5 says, I believe Cassie Campbell called Jason Dickinson Sam Dickinson 15 times in the game. Awesome.
She must have been watching the Sharks game on her iPhone.
Well, I know there's a lot of accountability in the NHL, so I'm sure that the league will be... No, they won't be doing anything like that. It is aggravating as hockey fans, but you know what? I think by now we realize that they don't really care about us. It's for ESPN, it's just another way to sell ads, and they're not super invested in making their product good, which makes me, when I see the way Turner does and the way Turner's invested in this, it is very clear who gives a crap and who doesn't. I'm sorry, you're telling me that ESPN can't find a legitimate play-by-play man to call a Hawks Wild game the night before Thanksgiving when everyone's off tomorrow, no one's got to get up for work, everyone's just...
Why don't you just have Rick Ball do it? He's in town.
He's right there.
Pay him.
Yeah.
He'll take their money.
All right, well, let's hope Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar can get 2 points when the Hawks return to action on Friday.
We'll
be here.
A Sam Dickinson hat trick on Friday.
Oh, yeah, we got to do the frat house and the game puck.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the... What do you want to do first, Chloe?
I think it's going to be the same guy.
All right, game puck first. Artyom Levshunov. What was the percentage? I closed my laptop. 61%
Good
for
for
Artyom Levshunov. Deserved. Good for him. Oh, I got to mark it in my... I can't close the laptop yet. I got to update the score sheet. I know I forgot to do... I got to go back and listen and see because I know I forgot to do it one show. All right, here. Game pucks. That is Levshunov's second. So now he is past Sam Lafferty, Colton Dock, and Lucas Reichel in game pucks.
Attaboy.
Good for him. And are we ready for the music? Fire it up. This is me, Chloe, and Sarah. On what is it? Oh, it's tonight, right? Are you guys going out tonight? Are you going out? You guys are not going out tonight? Oh man, youth is wasted on the young.
I
this
call.
conversation before, but
Right.
Sarah and I we were wondering if the blackout game for the Blackhawks was tonight or if it was Friday, because we thought maybe it was a coincidence that they were doing a blackout game on Blackout Wednesday. It's not.
They're doing it on Black Friday.
They're doing it on Black Friday, though.
Yeah, but
They are, yeah,
Blackout
Friday and
Wednesday
Saturday.
is more significant than Black Friday to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
guess what? They're coming. Here we go. Artyom Levshunov, a goal. So many shots on goal. Sarah has down. Hit the post twice.
Yep.
At least twice. The official number for shots on goal was 3. He had 7 shot attempts.
That
great
7
game for him.
qualifies as so many, yes.
Yeah, and 18-16 of ice time for Levshunov. So
Great game for Levshunov. And, of course, Ivan Demidov scores tonight, too, for Montreal. But you know what? Artie's only got 4 less goals than Ivan Demidov. Just saying.
I mean, look, tonight he could have drawn him within 1.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just
Sometimes
saying. Let these things play out before we make declarations.
sometimes
on
we
what
are
pick
fans
was
for a reason.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to everybody on Friday. By the way, happy Thanksgiving
Yes.
to everybody. We really appreciate you being with us, staying up with us late, staying
Enjoy
with us on overtime.
Your turkey and your football and your spinach souffle tomorrow.
Yeah, no, Sarah, we're not doing
Yeah,
that.
no.
And I just, by the way, I want to say thank you to Sarah for getting us through the vast majority of our post-game shows. You make our jobs very, very easy. Chloe, we are so happy you are here from Denver, despite your Avalanche garb you're wearing right now, but that's fine. We're happy to have you here. We're grateful for you. Greg, one of my best friends. Love doing the show with you all the time. Thank you for picking me up when I was down. Same to Mario. When everything was going on with my dad, Mario stepped up big time, so thank you to him. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you Friday on a CHGO Blackhawks podcast presented by Bet365.
We all silly like the mayor.